Young and the Restless next week, July 8 to 12. Summer threatens and Tracy's shocked. Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day. Before we begin the video, please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. The week of July 8 to 12, 2024 on The Young and the Restless sees Tracy Abbott, Beth Maitland, receives a pleasant surprise in Paris, while tensions mount between Summer Newman, Allison Lanier, and Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller. Alan Lawrence, Christopher Cousins, potential involvement in the storyline raises eyebrows, and fans are speculating on his character's true identity. Meanwhile, Danny Romalotti, Michael Damian, and Christine Williams, Laura Lee Bell, reappear, so this stirs up nostalgia and further intrigue. Their unexpected visit to Tracy in Paris is bound to have repercussions that viewers can look forward to in the coming weeks on VR. Elsewhere in Genoa City, Summer confronts Kyle about his secretive plans to move out of the family mansion with their son, Harrison Locke, Redding Munsell. Their heated discourse points towards potential custody battles in future episodes of Young and the Restless. Lastly, the age-old rivalry between Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, and Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, reignites, and Jack confronts Victor about his vengeful actions against the Abbott family. This sets the stage for a brewing storm on Young and the Restless, and it could potentially impact Victor's marriage with Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott. Also, the show's head writer Josh Griffith continues to keep viewers on their toes, creating a captivating mix of romance, drama, and suspense on The Young and the Restless the week of 7/8 to 7/12/2024. Get all your daily Young and the Restless spoilers and news here and stay tuned for updates on your favorite characters' fates. The week begins with Summer Newman, usually the voice of reason in the Newman family, taking a darker turn. Tensions between her and Kyle Abbott have reached a boiling point, and Summer is no longer holding back. She's tired of playing nice and pretending that everything is fine. The weight of the secrets, the lies, and the growing animosity between her family and Kyle's are starting to wear on her. After months of trying to juggle her role at Jabut and her personal life, Summer finally hits her breaking point when she learns that Kyle has been keeping secrets from her. The culmination of their strained marriage, compounded by his recent actions, pushes Summer into a corner. For her, it's no longer just about family loyalty or trying to make things work. It's about survival. In a dramatic confrontation, Summer goes after Kyle in the most unexpected way. She warns him in no uncertain terms that if he doesn't come clean about everything, she will make sure he regrets it. This isn't just an empty threat. Summer, after all, has inherited her father's cunning and ruthlessness. She may be a fan of playing things cool, but when pushed, she knows how to turn up the heat. You think you can keep lying to me, Kyle? Think again. If you don't tell me everything, I will. And you won't like the fallout, Summer tells Kyle, her voice icy with determination. The words echo in Kyle's mind for the rest of the week as he grapples with his own feelings of guilt. He knows that Summer isn't one to make threats lightly, but can he really confess to her everything he's been hiding? His mind spins with the implications of what she said. If he admits the truth, will it destroy their already fragile relationship for good? Summer's threat not only sends shockwaves through her marriage, but also ripples through the Abbott family. Kyle, unsure of how to proceed, is left to ponder whether Summer will follow through on her promise. The power dynamics between them shift, with Summer asserting more control over their relationship than she ever has before. But as Summer puts her foot down, a storm brews in the background. Summer is prepared to fight for what she wants, but will her ruthless side be enough to save her marriage? Or will it alienate her from the very people she's trying to protect? Tracy Abbott, the steady and kind-hearted member of the Abbott family, has always been a pillar of strength. She's witnessed the ups and downs of her siblings' lives, offering advice and a compassionate ear when needed. But this week, Tracy will be forced to confront something that shocks her to her core. After a routine visit to Jebot, Tracy stumbles upon a file, one that she wasn't supposed to see. The contents are a bombshell. Confidential information about a series of financial transactions tied to her brother Jack Abbott's recent business dealings. It's not just any information. It's evidence that Jack may have made a questionable decision that could jeopardize the future of Jebot. Tracy is left in a state of shock, torn between her loyalty to her brother and the moral dilemma that learning this information could alter Jebot's destiny. But she is also aware that Jack could be destroyed if the truth is revealed. As the week goes on, Tracy is torn between telling her brother what she's found and keeping it a secret to keep him safe. Jack would stop at nothing to harm me or Jebot. Would he? Tracy muses out loud as she struggles with her morality and considers telling Jack the news immediately. The decision she has to make weighs heavily on her heart. Although Tracy has always trusted her brother, this revelation causes her to doubt whether or not she really knows him as well as she had assumed. As Tracy looks for comfort from the uncertainty of whether she can trust Jack to tell the truth or if the truth is going to change everything still hangs over her family. Jack and Kyle, a widening divide. Jack finds himself at the center of the storm as the strain on Summer and Kyle increases. His economic empire is now in jeopardy due to the continued fallout from his tense relationship with his son Kyle, as well as Tracy's discovery. Jack, who has always shielded his family, is now up against his most difficult obstacle to date. For months, Jack and Kyle have been at odds with one another. There is a clear gap between father and son as a result of Kyle's previous actions, which include harboring secrets and the discord in his marriage to Summer. Even while Jack tries to be encouraging, he can't help but feel that Kyle is keeping something from him. Even worse, Jack has a gut feeling that Summer could know more than she's admitting. Jack makes the decision to speak with Kyle about his life in a heated exchange. When Jack insists that Kyle tell him the truth about everything, the conversation swiftly becomes heated. As Kyle is compelled to admit the truth about his behavior, the layers of deceit between them are exposed. "Kyle, do you think I haven't noticed how you've been behaving? The separation?" Jack states, "It's not just about business anymore," in a stern yet worried tone. "Explain to me what's actually happening." When Kyle realizes he's ran, he hesitates, out of justifications, but Jack's dismay is evident even as he starts to explain. This has to do with family, not simply business. Jack, who has always seen Kyle's potential, must now confront the unpleasant fact that his son might be headed in a dangerous direction. Once strong, their connection now feels irreparably broken. Jack starts to doubt his own actions as he struggles with his son's choices. Has he given Kyle too much leeway? Did he fail to notice that things were unraveling? Above all, will he be able to patch things up before it's too late? Kyle versus Summer, a battle of power. The stakes between Summer and Kyle keep becoming higher as the week goes on. The danger posed by Summer has been established, and she is not going to back down. There is a noticeable tension between the two, and it is obvious that neither of them is prepared to cede control of the relationship. Summer is no longer the gullible young lady who prioritized her family. She is resolved to take charge of her life, even if it means employing severe methods, because she has learned from her mistakes. Summer, who is Victor Newman's daughter, is skilled at using the cards to her advantage. Kyle, however, isn't giving up easily in spite of his errors. Summer's threats have only strengthened his resolve to defend his family and his legacy at Jebot. As their altercation intensifies, Kyle won't let Summer go amok. Even if it means revealing truths that could endanger their lives together, he is prepared to confront her. "You believe that you can simply intimidate me into complying, Summer?" "You're wrong," Kyle responds in a defiant tone. "I stand to lose as much as you do." As one attempts to outmaneuver the other, their power struggle intensifies. Although there is no denying Summer's emotional influence over Kyle, his ambition and devotion to his family are just as powerful. It's uncertain who will prevail in this conflict of wills as the pressure increases. Will Kyle be able to reverse the situation, or will Summer's manipulation succeed? Tracy's confrontation, a crisis in the family. Tracy's learning of Jack's. A turning moment in the Abbott family's history is their economic operations. Although she and Jack have always had a trusting relationship, she must now make the most difficult choice of her life. Should she keep Jack safe at all costs, or should she reveal his secrets and maybe ruin everything he has worked for? Tracy struggles with her conscience and ultimately determines that she needs to speak with Jack face to face. Tracy eventually shares what she's found with the two during their heart-to-heart what's been going on with Jabat, Tracy begins, her voice filled with both pain and concern. I found the file. You've been making decisions that could put the company at risk. Jack's face pales as the weight of Tracy's words sinks in. Tracy, I didn't mean for you to find out this way. The conversation between them is emotional, and Tracy is left questioning everything she thought she knew about her brother. Jack, meanwhile, is faced with the reality of his choices and the damage they may have caused. The family dynamic shifts as Tracy demands answers, not just for Jabat's sake, but for their family's future. As the episode ends, the Abbott family is in crisis. Trust has been broken, and there's no easy path forward. But one thing is certain, nothing will ever be the same again for Jack, Tracy, and the entire Abbott family. Chapter 6, Cliffhanger, a family torn apart. The week concludes with a cliffhanger that leaves viewers on the edge of their seats. Summer's threatening hold over Kyle grows stronger, while Jack's relationship with Tracy is irreparably damaged. The Abbott family is divided, and the fallout from Summer's threat and Tracy's discovery promises to shake Genoa City to its core. As the drama unfolds, the question remains, can the Abbott family survive the storm that's brewing, or will these deep-rooted secrets and betrayals tear them apart forever? End of week recap. Stay tuned for next week's Young and the Restless as the tension continues to rise, and the Abbott family is left to pick up the pieces. Summer's threats and Tracy's shocking discovery are just the beginning of what promises to be a tumultuous summer for Genoa City. Will the Newmans and Abbotts emerge from this crisis stronger, or will they be forever changed by the events that unfold? Only time will tell. Summer Newman continues to assert her power over her troubled marriage to Kyle Abbott. After delivering her shocking threat, she now faces the aftermath of her bold move. Kyle has been left rattled, unsure how to navigate the emotional minefield that Summer has set before him. It's clear that she has taken full control of their relationship. But will her manipulative tactics push Kyle further away, or will they serve to bring him back into the fold? Summer, much like her father, has never been one to let things slide. She knows how to manipulate situations and people to get what she wants. In the boardrooms of Newman Enterprises, she has built a reputation for ruthlessness, but now she applies the same methods to her personal life. As Kyle grows more distant from her, Summer tightens her grip. With the added strain of the baby news and the pressure to maintain control of both her marriage and the Newman legacy, Summer is pushing herself further into a corner. As Summer coldly orders Kyle to make a decision about their future, she delivers an ultimatum that leaves him with no room to maneuver. Either you tell me the truth, or I'll tell everyone what I know about you and your secrets, Kyle. I'm done playing nice, Summer declares, her eyes flashing with defiance. Kyle knows Summer isn't bluffing, but the idea of his marriage crumbling under the weight of his lies and secrets is almost too much to bear. He tries to counter her threats with his own, reminding her of the stakes. You think you can scare me into submission, Summer? Think again. You don't know everything that's going on. This only increases the tension between them as their relationship reaches a boiling point. Can Kyle and Summer repair their relationship, or is their power struggle the beginning of the end? One thing is for sure, the next move is all Summers, and the fallout could have massive consequences for both her marriage and the entire Abbott family. Tracy Abbott, caught between her loyalty to her brother Jack and her moral compass, is facing an emotional crossroads. Her recent discovery about Jack's questionable business dealings has shaken her to her core. After weeks of agonizing over whether to confront Jack or keep his secret, she ultimately decides that the truth must come to light. But when she finally sits down with Jack, the weight of her decision is evident in her voice. Tracy, normally the voice of reason and compassion, is now forced to be the bearer of bad news. "Jack, I never thought it would come to this, but I've seen the evidence. I know about the transactions you've been making," Tracy says softly but firmly. Jack, who has always been able to maintain control in any situation, is caught off guard. His normally confident exterior cracks as Tracy's words sink in. "Tracy, I never wanted you to find out like this. I did what I thought was best for Gibbot. I thought I was protecting the company." But Tracy isn't buying it. "Protecting the company? Or protecting your own interests, Jack? You've put everything we've worked for in jeopardy. And more importantly, you've lied to me." Tracy's words sting sting more than sister. she intended, but the truth is undeniable. Jack's face pales as he realizes the gravity of what she's discovered. He tries to explain himself, but Tracy is resolute. "I can't stand by and let you destroy everything we've worked for, Jack. You've crossed a line, and I can't protect you from the consequences anymore." As the week progresses, Tracy struggles with the aftermath of her decision. Her relationship with Jack will never be the same again. The emotional toll of exposing her brother's actions is devastating, but Tracy knows it was the right thing to do. She watches helplessly as the Abbott family is torn apart by the fallout from her revelation. Will Tracy's decision drive a permanent wedge between her and Jack? Can their once close relationship ever be repaired? The family is already in disarray, and this latest betrayal threatens to unravel everything. Chapter 9. Jack's desperate attempts to salvage Gibbot. Jack Abbott, reeling from the discovery that Tracy has learned the truth about his financial dealings, finds himself scrambling to save face within the family and at Gibbot. The last thing he wants is for the company he built, and the legacy of the Abbott name, to fall into chaos. Jack's first course of action is to confront the Gibbot board. The company's future is at stake, and Jack knows that he needs their full support to keep the business running smoothly. But the board isn't impressed by his explanations. As the meeting grows more tense, Jack's ability to maintain control slips further away. The board members, once loyal to Jack, are now questioning his judgment. They demand answers. "If you thought you could keep this under wraps forever, Jack, you were sorely mistaken," one of the board members snaps. "The financial risks you've taken could cost us everything." Jack's panic begins to set in as he realizes just how dire the situation is. The stakes have never been higher, and he can feel the walls closing in around him. As he fights to maintain his position at the helm of Gibbot, Jack starts to question whether his past decisions were worth it. Was protecting Gibbot's reputation worth the moral cost? Could he have done things differently? Chapter 10. The family confrontation. Can Jack recover? The most intense moment of the week comes when the Abbott family gathers to confront Jack about the allegations. With Tracy's revelation hanging over their heads, the entire family is left to pick up the pieces. Billy Abbott, Jack's younger brother, is particularly vocal in his disapproval. "You've put everything we've worked for at risk, Jack. You've put our future in jeopardy. How could you do this?" Billy demands, his voice rising with frustration. Jack, visibly defeated, looks at his family with regret. "I never meant for things to spiral out of control. I thought I was making the right decisions for Gibbot, for all of us." Ashley Abbott, usually the calm and collected voice of reason, doesn't mince words either. Your actions could destroy the very thing Dad worked so hard to build. You've put the company at risk, and now we're left picking up the pieces. The Abbott family, long known for their unity, finds itself on the brink of collapse as they confront Jack's betrayal. Each sibling reacts in their own way. Ashley and Billy are disillusioned, Tracy feels heartbroken, and Jack, once the leader of the family, is left with no one to turn to. As the family meeting reaches its emotional climax, Jack is left with one final choice. Does he step down from Jabot and try to rebuild his relationships with his family, or does he fight to keep control of the company he loves at all costs? The emotional strain on Jack reaches a breaking point, and as the week comes to a close, it's clear that the future of the Abbott family and Jabot hangs in the balance. Chapter 11: Summer and Kyle. A new beginning or the end? In a surprising twist, the power struggle between Summer and Kyle reaches a resolution of sorts. Summer, while still determined to control her marriage, starts to see that her manipulative tactics may be driving a permanent wedge between her and Kyle. As the week draws to a close, the two have a heart-to-heart conversation, where Kyle opens up about his fears, his regrets, and his love for Summer. "I didn't want things to get this bad," Kyle admits, his voice tinged with emotion, "but I can't keep living a lie. If we're going to make this work, we both need to come clean." For the first time in a long while, Summer softens her stance. The tension between them is still palpable, but there's a sense of hope that maybe, just maybe, they can work through their issues. As they agree to start fresh, the question remains: can they truly rebuild their marriage, or has the damage already been done? Cliffhanger. The future of the Abbotts. As the week comes to an end, the fate of the Abbott family's future at Jabot uncertain, Tracy's heartbreak, Summer and Kyle's fragile reconciliation, and the looming question of whether Jack will recover from his mistakes, it's clear that Genoa City is in for a bumpy ride. Family loyalties, business empires, and the future of Jabot are all at stake, and with so many unresolved issues, it's impossible to predict what will happen next. The Abbott family is at a crossroads, and how they choose to move forward will determine the course of their future. End of week recap. Stay tuned for next week's The Young and the Restless as the Abbott family faces the consequences of their actions. Will Jack salvage his legacy, or will he lose everything? And what about Summer and Kyle? Will their power struggle end in reconciliation, or will their marriage be torn apart for good? Only time will tell. As the tension within the Abbott family continues to mount, Jack is faced with an agonizing decision: step down from his role as CEO of Jabot, or fight to keep control of the company he built. The news of his questionable business dealings has rocked the foundation of the Abbott legacy, and now Jack is forced to confront the consequences of his actions. At the start of the week, Jack meets with his legal team and the Jabot board of directors in an attempt to salvage what he can from the wreckage of his career. It's a high-stakes meeting that could determine the future of both the Abbott family and the company they hold dear. "Jack, the board is losing confidence in your leadership. We can't afford any more missteps," one of the board members, a longtime ally, says with a note of concern in his voice. Jack, always composed and calculating, struggles to maintain his calm. "I built Jabot from the ground up. I'm not going to let it all fall apart over one mistake. I will fix this," Jack insists, his voice tinged with desperation. But deep down, Jack knows that time is running out. His relationship with the board, his family, and even the public trust is fractured. As the meeting drags on, Jack is presented with an ultimatum: either resign from his position as CEO, or face a potential shareholder revolt that could make his position untenable. The emotional toll of the decision is immense. Jack reflects on his decades of work and the sacrifices he made to get Jabot to where it is. Could all of that be undone by one bad decision? As the week progresses, Jack makes his decision. He gathers his family for a pivotal meeting, where he plans to reveal his next move. I've made a choice, Jack says, his voice steady but filled with the weight of the moment. I'm stepping down as CEO of Jabot. It's time for a new direction. The family is shocked, but Tracy, Billy, and Ashley all have their own reactions. Tracy, ever the voice of compassion, expresses her concern for Jack's well-being. Jack, I know how hard this is for you, but you can rebuild. You're not defined by one mistake. Billy, however, is less understanding. You've done a lot of damage, Jack, but maybe this is for the best. We need a fresh start. Jack's decision is a bittersweet one. While he has chosen to step aside for the sake of the company and his family, the reality of losing control is something he'll struggle to accept in the coming weeks. Will he find a way to reinvent himself and regain his place at the helm of Jabot? Or is this the end of an era for the Abbott family business? Chapter 13. Summer and Kyle. A marriage on the brink. As Summer and Kyle continue to navigate the fallout from Summer's ultimatum, their relationship teeters on the edge of collapse. After the explosive confrontation last week, both Summer and Kyle are emotionally drained, but also determined to find a way forward. Their marriage is hanging by a thread, and Summer's threat of exposing Kyle's secrets looms large over them both. Kyle is tormented by guilt over his past actions, but he is also unwilling to let Summer dictate the terms of their relationship. As Summer tightens her grip on him, Kyle pushes back in ways that catch her off guard. You think you can control me, Summer? I'm not your pawn. I've been trying to fix this, but we need honesty from both of us, Kyle says, his voice filled with conviction. Summer, however, is resolute in her stance. Honesty? You're the one who's been lying to me for months, Kyle. If you want this marriage to survive, we both need to be on the same page. The tension between them builds to a breaking point, and Summer finally admits that her actions have been fueled by fear. I'm scared, Kyle. I'm scared that if I don't fight for what I want, I'll lose everything. I can't lose you, not like this. In that moment, Kyle softens, realizing that Summer's threats were born out of her own insecurities. Summer, I never wanted to hurt you. I made mistakes, but I love you. I don't want to lose you. A fragile moment of vulnerability, and it seems that for the first time in a long while, they may be able to rebuild the trust that has been shattered. But will this newfound understanding be enough to save their marriage, or are the cracks too deep for repair? Chapter 14. Tracy's battle, protecting her family. While Jack deals with the fallout of his decisions, Tracy is left to pick up the emotional pieces of her family's fractured relationships. As the Abbott siblings struggle with their own issues, Tracy finds herself at the center of a moral dilemma. Her loyalty to Jack has been tested, and now she must decide whether to support her brother's decision to step down or fight for his redemption. Tracy knows that Jack's actions have caused irreparable damage to the family business, but she also understands that family is about more than just success and failure. Jack needs her now more than ever, but her emotional scars from their recent confrontation still run deep. The more Tracy reflects on the family dynamics, the more she realizes that the Abbotts need to heal, not just as a business, but as a family. She spends time with Billy and Ashley, trying to bridge the growing divide between them. We've all made mistakes, but we can't let this tear us apart. We have to stick together, Tracy urges, her voice filled with quiet strength. Billy, however, is reluctant to let go of his anger toward Jack. He let us all down, Tracy, and now we have to clean up the mess he created. Ashley, always the pragmatist, takes a more measured approach. We have to figure out what's best for Jabot. We can't let emotions cloud our judgment. But we also have to find a way to move forward as a family. As Tracy continues to mediate the situation, she's forced to confront her own feelings of betrayal. Will she be able to forgive Jack and help her family come together, or will the rift between them be too wide to heal? Chapter 15. Summer versus Kyle, the final showdown. The tension between Summer and Kyle reaches a boiling point this week, as both are pushed to their limits. Summer is determined to make her marriage work, but she's no longer willing to tolerate Kyle's secrets. Meanwhile, Kyle is battling his own guilt, knowing that Summer's ultimatum is the result of his own mistakes. In an emotionally charged confrontation, Summer lays down the law. "I'm not going to keep living like this, Kyle. Either we rebuild our marriage, or we move on. I'm done being your backup plan," Summer declares, her eyes steely with resolve. Kyle, torn between his love for Summer and his desire to protect his family's legacy, finally opens up about the truth behind his actions. "I've been lying to you, Summer, but it's not because I don't love you. I've been afraid of losing everything I've worked for, Jabat, my place in this family. But I know now that I can't keep living in fear. I want you. I want our marriage. But I need you to understand that I've been struggling too." Summer listens to his words, and for the first time in weeks, she sees the vulnerability beneath Kyle's bravado. "I get it, Kyle. I do, but I need to know that you're with me, not just for convenience. If we're going to make this work, we have to be honest with each other." The raw honesty between them sets the stage for a potential reconciliation, but the road ahead is uncertain. Can Summer and Kyle truly move forward from the pain of the past, or will their marriage be permanently scarred? Chapter 16: A Family's Future. What lies ahead for the Abbotts? The Abbott family is on the verge of a major transformation. Jack's resignation as CEO of Jabat has sent shockwaves through the family, and the repercussions of his decision will be felt for years to come. As the week concludes, the future of the Abbott legacy hangs in the balance. With Summer and Kyle trying to rebuild their marriage, and Tracy navigating the emotional fallout of Jack's betrayal, it's clear that the Abbott family must come together to face the challenges ahead. The question remains, will they be able to overcome their differences and rebuild their family, or will their empire crumble under the weight of their secrets? As Jack's future at Jabat becomes more uncertain, the Abbott siblings must decide whether they will continue to fight for their family's legacy, or whether it's time to move on from the past. End of week recap. Next week promises to bring even more drama, with new alliances forming, old wounds reopening, and the future of Jabat hanging in the balance. Stay tuned to The Young and the Restless as the Abbott family faces their toughest challenges yet and tries to rebuild what's been broken. Will love triumph over betrayal, or will the Abbotts fall victim to their own mistakes? End of recap. I hope this continuation sparks even more interest and excitement. If you want to dive deeper into any particular storyline or character, let me know.